Joy unspeakable, full of glory. I'm used to being hurt, rejected and thrown away like a castaway. It doesn't faze me anymore when friendships die. I'm used to people leaving me by myself, but what I'm tired of is treating God like everybody else and every other person that left a scar. In all fairness, I left some gashes too. I wasn't always the victim. Deep down, I just really want to love him. I truly want to be able to stand and give God a genuine praise, whether it be a wave of my hand or a shout from the depths of my soul without worrying about how I look right there and then or the stairs stabbing the back of my head. I rejoice in my home when no one is there. I rejoice with tears falling down as I lay down to sleep, observing over one more day I didn't deserve. God, I want to love you, but I'm afraid. I pour myself out on pages. It's dangerous, wondering if people will actually care. Will they do you like Kevin Hart and laugh at you? Angrily, I think, what are you laughing at? Not your comedy hour. God reminds me, however, of everything his son went through. Jesus was in pain, but they laughed at him too. If you're doing this for the sympathy of others, then daughter, God says you're doing this for the wrong reasons. Remember, sister. Remember, brother, we are about our Father's business, kingdom work. And working for the King means I will never be a celebrity. Mud will be slung, rocks shall be thrown, but a good fighter knows you got to be able to take a hit just as good as you can give one. If you're too afraid of getting hurt, then you'll be bested by everyone and everything you encounter. God didn't make us to be cowards. So even when the enemy is whispering and the devil tells you nobody cares, to just give up, it's all a fluke, your God is not there, think on those times of a joy unspeakable. When you started to give up the infinite time and he brought back to your memory why he called you in the first place. Don't forget his touch, his embrace, the sound of his voice. And if you have never heard him, then know this, God is speaking to you right now. Right now, God is speaking to you. All you have to do is listen. Sometimes we choose not to pay attention because of the people God uses. And you don't have to hear me. Ignore me if you like, but you can't ignore him. He'll send as many people as needed your way because that's just how much he loves you. And to think, never even seen him, but he loves you. You've got gaping holes in your heart, he wants to close them. You don't know how to love or even what it is he wants to teach you. You're not sure of what it is that you're really afraid of. Trust me, he desires to fix that too. All you have to do is let him. The thing about fear is that it can't be beaten until you stop letting it chase you into a corner and you push it out of your way. I rejoice in my God today. You can look at me sideways if you want, but I'm tired of being afraid, and I'm tired of trying to blame God for what other people did to me as I cry out, God, I love you. I want to love you. Just don't abandon me. I know you said you promised, and I know you're a promise keeper, but God, please, don't leave me. Don't hurt me. Don't give me those looks those others gave me like I was some sort of freak, like I was something gone wrong, not normal. It's hard to give him praise. It's hard to have intimacy with God when you're holding on to hate and darkness is tainting your red cells. You've got to let go. God says forgiveness is for you. Could you imagine what it'd be like if we were held accountable for every person, and I do mean every person we hurt, and for every single time we lied when we weren't there for that person like we said would be? For all those times we kept somebody waiting, telling them, I'm sorry, I lost track of time. I'll be there tomorrow. I promise. Only to keep not showing up. For each and every time we lashed out in anger and decimated a person's soul and sense of self-worth as a result of our actions and by our words because they didn't get it the first time or simply because we just didn't like them. Could you imagine what that would be like? And yet God looked down on you, set his gaze on all of us and said, not guilty. And I sit back and ponder aloud after knowing how guilty you truly are, still are, and knowing full well that you dodged the bullet only because God stepped out in front of it, taking it for you. How can you not rejoice in that? In him? How can you sit there and not give him the glory that he deserves from you? Perhaps I'm not the only one who's afraid. Guess you're scared just like me too. But one thing I know is even when the enemy tries to get me to doubt God's very existence, I believe on because I experienced God for myself. There's no denying of the day I heard his voice when I went to kill myself. No denying the time I stopped praying, stopped trying, got overwhelmed with grief, and my spirit fell to my knees, said, God, I don't understand why you keep calling me. I am all these things, have done all these things, only for him to say, that is why. That is why I want to use you. The honest truth, I want your affection. I want your appraisals, your hand claps, your approval. I want your admiration, your cheers, your praises. I want you to come out in droves just for me. But I'm finding out, as bad as I want that, as bad as I want your support in a fan club designed by you in my name, I don't need any of those things. All I need is the one who saved me and has been keeping me all these years, picked me up when I fell and carried me when my legs refuse to move. I don't need any of that. All I need is God. And I refuse to be afraid of imperfect people, just as imperfect as I am. I will give God his due. I don't have to be the loudest. All I have to be is sincere. I don't have to sing the prettiest. So long as my heartbeats are in rhythm with his, then he'll hear me. And I know that is truly all I need. God, give me the strength and the bravery. God, give us the strength and the bravery so that even when our closest friends turn deserter and act as though they never knew us, God, you knew us before we knew you. God, I pray that you'll give us the courage we need to turn to you, to praise you and worship you at all times, to honor you with our lives. God, touch our hearts today. Remind us that you're real. No matter how much the enemy tries to disprove you, God, nothing is done without your say-so and approval. God, remold us, reshape us, help us to be free, to be your people, to be real, and to be true to ourselves despite what others think of, already thoughts. Help us to escape our fears and stop putting ourselves and our hearts into a box. I pray, Lord, that you cover us all and continue to mend us while helping us to let go. It's no one's fault of what that person or those people did to you. Stop taking it out on God. He just wants to love you. So let him love you.